On Tuesday, President Donald Trump officially announced a monumental and historic new trade agreement with Japan, a pact he enthusiastically heralded as a potential landmark achievement in global commerce and a deeply significant victory for both nations. Welcome viewers to my channel. If you're not please subscribe, like my video and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next update. During a celebratory reception at the White House with key Republican members of Congress, Trump characterized the deal as the largest trade deal in history, a sweeping declaration that underscored its perceived importance. He went on to emphasize that this agreement was the hard-won product of long and hard negotiations, a painstaking process led by the most senior and skilled negotiators from both the United States and Japan. This comprehensive framework, which had appeared elusive and fraught with tension and public disagreement just weeks earlier, was described by the president as a great deal for everybody, meticulously designed not only to foster mutual economic prosperity but also to profoundly strengthen the strategic and economic bond between these two essential global allies. The new economic framework, tariffs and investment. The foundational element of this new agreement is a 15% reciprocal tariff on a wide range of Japanese goods imported into the United States. This rate represents a substantial, strategic, and profoundly beneficial victory for Japan's vital automotive industry, a sector that is a pillar of its national economy. While other major vehicle exporting countries have been subject to a much higher and more punitive 25% levy on their automotive exports since April, a measure that has created significant market instability, Japan will now benefit from a significantly lower, more favorable rate. This effectively gives Japanese carmakers a notable and immediate competitive advantage in the American market, allowing them to better position themselves against rivals from other nations and secure a greater share of the consumer market. This lower tariff is expected to directly translate into more competitive pricing for Japanese vehicles, benefiting both American consumers, who will have access to more affordable options, and the Japanese manufacturers themselves, who will see increased sales and revenue. Beyond the tariff adjustments, the deal also includes a massive and unprecedented $550 billion investment from Japan directly into the U.S. economy. According to President Trump, the United States is poised to receive an astonishing 90% of the profits from this massive venture, a claim that highlights the immense potential return on this partnership. Japan's lead negotiator, Ryosei Akazawa, provided further clarification, explaining that this substantial capital injection would take the form of both equity and loans, demonstrating a flexible and multifaceted approach to financing. These funds are specifically earmarked to support Japanese businesses as they expand their presence and make significant, forward-looking investments in critical U.S. sectors like the burgeoning pharmaceuticals industry and the cutting-edge semiconductor sector. This infusion of capital is expected to create thousands of high-paying jobs, stimulate innovation, and foster long-term growth in key American industries. The agreement also tackles the long-standing and often contentious issue of agricultural trade, a major point of friction throughout the negotiations. Japan has committed to opening its market to more American products, including a larger quantity of U.S. rice and other select agricultural goods, a crucial concession that the American side had demanded. This point was a crucial point of contention and a key demand from the American side throughout the prolonged negotiations. However, Akazawa was quick to reassure domestic audiences in Japan, a move designed to calm fears among the agricultural community. He stressed that the agreement was carefully crafted to not sacrifice Japanese agriculture, a sensitive and protected sector. He emphasized that the deal's provisions were designed to balance new market access with the steadfast protection of Japan's domestic farmers, ensuring a sustainable and fair outcome for all parties involved. A wave of optimism and the resolution of tensions. The announcement of the deal was met with a powerful and immediate surge of optimism on both sides of the Pacific, a clear signal that it was seen as a positive development. In Tokyo, the financial markets reacted immediately and positively to the news. The Nikkei stock index soared to a one-year high, closing up an impressive 3.7% on Wednesday, with a particularly strong performance from automaker shares, which saw their values climb sharply in anticipation of the new favorable trade terms. This market enthusiasm reflected a deep investor confidence in the favorable new trade terms and the widespread belief that the agreement would lead to increased profits and greater economic stability. On social media, a triumphant Ryosei Akazawa proclaimed, "Mission accomplished," with a photo of himself at the White House, a clear and public sign of the relief and success felt by the Japanese delegation after a grueling negotiation process. He told reporters in Washington, D.C. that Japan had become the first in the world to be able to reduce tariffs on automobiles and auto parts without volume restrictions, a point of national pride and a clear competitive advantage that set Japan apart from its global rivals. Japan's Prime Minister, Shigeru Ishiba, also publicly hailed the agreement, noting that the 15% tariff was the lowest figure to date for a country that has a trade surplus with the United States, a detail that underscored the deal's favorable terms. He emphasized his government's commitment to carefully examining the deal's complex details, a necessary step to ensure a smooth implementation. He expressed a strong belief that the agreement would ultimately lead to significant job creation and foster mutual cooperation and deeper economic ties between the two nations, moving beyond simple trade into a more profound partnership. The successful conclusion of this deal is particularly notable given the intense and often public tensions that characterized the negotiations. President Trump had previously described the Japanese as tough negotiators and had used his social media platform, Truth Social, to criticize them directly. Key sticking points included the long-standing issue of U.S. rice imports and the lopsided nature of Japanese automobile imports. Trump had publicly criticized Japan for not accepting more U.S. rice, despite having a massive rice shortage, a claim that ignited debate. While official data shows Japan did buy $298 million worth of U.S. rice last year, a 2021 report from the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative under President Biden had previously highlighted Japan's highly regulated and non-transparent system as a significant barrier to American rice exporters, suggesting the problem was systemic. Similarly, automobiles were a major source of friction and public disagreement. Trump had publicly claimed that Japan did not import American cars, an assertion that, while not entirely accurate, highlighted the significant trade imbalance. Despite data from the Japan Automobile Importers Association showing that 16,707 American vehicles were imported last year, the sheer scale of the trade deficit remained a contentious and unresolved issue throughout the talks. However, signs of a resolution began to emerge in the weeks leading up to the announcement, a testament to the perseverance of both sides. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's meeting with Prime Minister Ishiba in Tokyo generated a renewed sense of optimism, with Bessent stating on X that a mutually beneficial trade agreement remained a real possibility. Mary Lovely of the Peterson Institute confirmed this sentiment, noting that the deal effectively relieved Japan of the looming threat of a much higher 25% tariff, which had hung over the negotiations like a storm cloud, threatening to derail them entirely. Looking beyond the deal, a broader partnership. This new agreement is particularly impactful given the significant trade volumes between the two nations, a key indicator of their economic interdependence. Japan is the fifth largest source of imports for the United States, with an impressive $148 billion worth of goods shipped last year, primarily consisting of cars, machinery, and parts, which are essential for American industries. Conversely, the U.S. exported a robust $80 billion in goods to Japan, including essential resources like oil, gas, pharmaceuticals, and aerospace products, demonstrating a two-way flow of critical goods. The scope of the partnership extends even further beyond a simple trade agreement. Trump also revealed that Tokyo and Washington are on the verge of forming a joint venture for a gas pipeline project in Alaska, a move with profound strategic implications. This aligns with the Trump administration's broader strategy of encouraging its key Asian allies to invest in this crucial American energy venture, a move that would enhance energy independence and security. While a significant hurdle has been cleared with the new trade pact, Akazawa noted that discussions will continue on other tariffs not covered in this agreement, such as the 50% levy on steel and aluminum. This underscores that while a major and historic step forward has been taken, the ongoing dialogue on economic cooperation between the United States and Japan is far from over and is set to continue for the foreseeable future.